beautiful city of Shanghai, as well as, you know, my bedroom, Daga's bedroom. You guys are always welcome in our bedrooms. As we apparently have a thing on our screen that you can't see. Now Elk is talking and saying something about FPX. We're not going to play it because, you know, it's written in Chinese and I can't translate that. But Dagda, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. Glad to be here, to be part of the shenanigans that FPX and Ultra Prime has been so far. It's been, I'm gonna like add in all the LPL phrases just to say it's been a bit of a barn burner, been a bit of a banger. You know, we got to get in our crutch words to make sure that we know.
Yeah, it is. Has been a bit of the signature barn burner, but going into game 2, you know, game 1, FPX, they didn't really slap. You said it during the break to me. Now I'm going to phrase it in a much more aggressive way as your anger translator. You said that game looked like total ass. Not good ass either. Not the kind of ass you look at and you're just like, ass. But the kind of game that's like 0-16 v5 playing against another 0-16 v5. Did I sum it up correctly, Rob?
Yeah. It wasn't exactly the cleanest of League of Legends, you know. There was a lot of messiness. There was a lot of people trying to figure out where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. But you know what? We got to the win, and that's all that matters. And there was some exciting views and scenery along the way. And that's all you can really want in life, you know.
Yeah, and I expect the same thing in Game 2. Though, sadly, Game 2 is not blind pick. No Thresh versus Thresh, which is maybe good. I think I'd get bored of Thresh versus Thresh very quickly if this was all just blind pick. But, you know, seeing FPX now, seeing my man Steak on the screen, whose English name is Frank, which I'll always like for some funny reason. It did look better with his afro, though.
It does sound like an order at a restaurant, though, because it's like, oh, can I get the steak and Frank's hot sauce?
Yeah, exactly. Frank's Steaks, or Steaks with Franks. As the Ultra Prime coaches, I know they've kept one. Can't remember his name. It's like Radis or Radis or something. But they do have a new coach as well. So Ultra Prime not only revamping their roster, but also bringing in some fresh faces as we go straight into the picks and bans. I forgot that we actually have those this time around, even though I just said it about 30 seconds ago. Corky taken off the table for crying. He was way too good at that champion. But Shallow, who not going to be allowed to get his hands on the Jace.
Yeah, it just feels like FPX got to do what every team has done against Ultra Prime, which is, hey, Crying has a terrible champion pool. Let's just try and target and take it away. The Aphelios taken off the board from LWX, which means FPX, I feel like you need to ban the Caitlyn or sorry, leave open the Caitlyn and the Jinx so then you can potentially get one for yourselves. Otherwise, it feels like you just end up taking one for Ultra Prime and then you're in a pretty good spot. Because if I remember correctly, Shousey was actually a pretty good Lux back in the day as well when that was still meta. So I think like something like a Caitlyn Lux could still be picked up here for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised they banned out the Aphelios themselves, considering that it felt like it did fuck all in Game 1. The Thresh ban does signal that the Jinx probably what will come through. Now the question will be if LWX and Hung are confident playing the bot lane that you talked about in terms of Caitlyn, Lux setup being able to come out, or do you just go back to something like a Kaisa with some kind of engaged champion, or maybe a Lucian Nami, which we've seen a little bit of. Yeah, Jhin, also another viable pick.
Yeah, it seems to be like kind of the go-to is like, look, if you don't really want to go towards the Caitlyn, which they are hovering, they end up going back towards the Jhin to just be like, hey, we're going to wave clear and kind of use them as utility setup as well. So we'll have to see what they decide to go to, but LWX doesn't like to be utility. He wants to play the Caitlyn, and he wants to make sure they can actually have some fun.
Remember, people, we are watching a literal world champion on our screens. Put respect on the name of LWX. Because if you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, and someone's got to do it. I'm just kidding. I'm actually just kidding. I've been really harsh on LWX. I think LWX is totally fine. Good player. One Worlds. Super clean. Sorry I keep thrashing on you, my dude. As Jarvan also followed through, so still not getting AP junglers. And Shousey, you know, going to live up to the Hook City name. No Blitzcrank like we'd love to see from him. But Nautilus, a pretty nice pick. So far, indexed to some engage, some range. Feels like their comp can still go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, I think the big one for the Nautilus is just kind of denying the Enchanter supports that like to be run a lot of the time beside Caitlyn. Unless you want to go towards something like the Morganic, which can actually do a lot against the Nautilus. But the Lux, it becomes a little bit more difficult to run against something like the Nautilus because you do have that point-and-click CC. But looks like they might just go towards it anyway and just try and like push home their advantage pre-6 and see what they can do. But Hacker definitely has the opportunity at level 6 to try and make some of these plays happen towards Elk and Chelsea in that bot lane.
So, Dagda, where do you stand on how FPX should round out? I'd say more specifically their top lane than their mid lane, right? Because whenever I think of Caitlyn Lux, I think of a bot lane that demands a lot of attention, a lot of vision, a lot of resources. I feel, though, typically in LPL, we don't see teams pick a safe top laner with Caitlyn Lux. We see teams pick an aggressive top laner and be like, hey, let's try to pull the jungler top so our bot lane can win. But I feel like it never really pans out that way.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of curious to see what they decide to go with. I feel like something like a Jace could work out fine, right? You basically have something that can do fine by itself, or even something like a Renekton, where it's just like, hey, at least the Renekton can kind of manage himself. Same with the Jace, and you don't have to give too many resources to him. But the big thing for me is like, you need something that's going to be able to get on towards this Jinx in the later portion of the game, because otherwise you can end up just getting a really strong front line on Ultra Prime side and never really have the opportunity to get through it. Like Caitlyn will eventually, but nowhere near as much as like a Jinx. So I'm kind of curious to see what FPX decide to go with. Looks like they're hoping the Camille.
Kind of interesting pick. Is decently, you know, self-sufficient in terms of can play by itself. You have the hook shot, wall shot to be able to get away. You have another carry to lock things down. Maybe set up for a nice final spark. Assuming I know what Lux's ult is actually called. But now on the side, thanks, Ashin. He confirmed I'm correct. I do know some ability names. Oh, it used to have a different name?
Yeah, it was some. It was like Finangle and something.
Oh God.
Finals Funculum. That's the one.
Thank God they changed it. As on the opposite side, looks like we're going maybe towards a bit more side lane play coming out for Ultra Prime. Rise coming out. You'd expect that to go in the hands of Cryin. Cryin has played Rise, you know, numerous times throughout his career. We haven't really seen much of Rise top in Demacia Championship, even if some players are playing it in solo queue. And Kennen, just to round out the comp, a ton of damage. It does well against squishy targets.
I'm curious to see if Gore. Oh, well, the Gallia is taken off the board. I was gonna say like if Gory goes towards something that can kind of like have that backline dive potential, because at least you've got the Jarvan there, you've got the Camille set up as well to try and lock down this Jinx, and she doesn't have a huge amount of safety tools apart from kind of Kennen stand on top of her with the ultimate. So I'm curious to see how they want to round this out. And yeah, there you go. So an Orianna at least to try and help when you go for these like long range dives into the backline, seeing if you can just pick off Elk before he can really get the ball rolling.
Yeah, that seems like the big setup of FPX's comp, right? They have numerous ways to just get on top of Elk. Jarvan jump in, the ball to follow up, Hextech ultimatum, blah, 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 blah. The problem is you still have to worry about massive Kennen ultis coming on your backline and your Caitlyn being absolutely useless. Right now, where do you lean, Dagda? Where do you lean?
I'm liking Ultra Prime's one. It feels, again, like super easy setup and easy to execute. But I think if FPX can get the ball rolling in the early stages, they can kind of snowball into a good spot. Especially because I think for Caitlyn, if you end up with both the Gale Force and also having the net to help you like maneuver away from cannons and stuff like that, if you're positioned well enough, you should be relatively okay as LWX. So I think it'll be interesting to see kind of what way they want to do it, because I believe early game with a Jarvan, Lux, Caitlyn, you can put a huge amount of pressure down towards this bot side and see if you can just start to take these third plates for yourselves.
So, I like it. The stock and standard LPL answer, liking Ultra Prime because it has easier setup. We love easier setup here in the LPL. If you don't know, our teams are a little bit insane. If you have a comp that's straightforward, it works out for you. But FPX having the tools to be able to find the advantages they need, can they keep Caitlyn and Lux ahead? Can they keep Caitlyn and Lux alive? Is going to be the big question for FPX. Can Beichuan once again put up a really nice mid and late game without sacrificing his early game? It is see next week on the next episode as we get a level 1 cheese in bot lane where nothing will happen.
No, because there's absolutely no one from FPX there. But yeah, I feel like a lot of FPX's success, especially at objective fights, is going to be coming down to like, hey, can we spot Alias, right? Like, if you can get some ward coverage down to make sure that Hung can try and find him as he comes in, or you set up a couple of traps to make his life a little bit more difficult. Alias may not have the easiest of times, but I'm curious to see if we get the same Chemtech Soul. Well, actually we won't, because Chemtech is the first one, so it means that then at least it makes it a little bit easier for FPX to spot out where Ali's is going to be this time around.
I gotta be honest, my favorite soul to see is Hextech, just because I love the lightning. It is actually super cool. Tons of AoE damage and awesomeness. I don't care what your feelings are on Hextech Dragon or Soul. It is very visually pleasing to watch. Therefore, Riot should keep it.
I also like the gates. Just having the gates that can
Yes!
open up and move around, or just it makes things kind of a bit interesting, especially from like a jungling perspective. Like, hey, how do I want to like move in, steal away some camps, maybe put some pressure down, and then just like skedaddle? It's kind of fun. But
Magda, you gave the perfect segue to say that FPX stole camps. You're completely right that that's what Hex Gates do, and FPX as a team are pretty much a Hex Gate. Jace and Victor invented them himself. And now, Ultra Prime's bot lane has to play safe near their turret because they were cross-mapped. Brilliant!
And they have the arcane bot line, which is why they're playing like they have the Hex Tech already, because they have Caitlyn. She lives in Piltover. She is the Hex Tech.
Clean transitions and references on this co-stream. You won't get those anywhere else. I am sorry. I will dominate. We love you. But it just isn't the same, my dude.
This is what you miss out on when you've got a play-by-play involved, you know? That's what... Oh, hang on.
Okay, damage coming out. Shao C losing 205 HP exactly, though some did regen, and you know, he did pop a pot, it looked like potentially. Oh, no, actually didn't. Just of his spots is, oh, another Glacial Augment coming out. Tons of Glacial Augment here at Demacia Championship. As a Hacker will just say hello to his good buddy Beichuan, and mid laners looking to go aggressive.
Actually, on a side note, just when we're talking about the masteries, I've seen Crisp running first strike looks into these matchups and getting a whole ton of gold for himself. So I was actually curious to see if we're going to see the same. But crying.
Ooh, the root comes out. Gory does flash away from the Sonic Wave coming out from Hacker. Flash for flash. In the end, it is going to give Hacker the route up towards top side. Gory not going to lose anything in terms of CS for the wave. TP should be able to come back out for Cryin. And I don't think FPX have the setup to where they'd be able to punish if he does just TP back into lane to look for a repeat gank. And it looks like Hacker trying to steal away some Raptors as well. So Hacker being a little bit cheeky. And Beichuan loses it, Dagda. Beichuan loses everything. Oh wait, Beichuan was the one who counter jungled level 1.
I was gonna say, Beichuan basically got the entire bot side of Hacker, so I think he's all right. But yeah, I mean, for Hacker, it's a bit unfortunate, right? His bot lane's fully pushed in, so he can't actually invade that quadrant. I was kind of surprised to see Hacker actually like moving bot side. I assumed he was just gonna go for the split map when they saw the invade, but maybe trying to move down to keep his bot lane safe because Xiaoxi is taking a beating in this bot lane.
Yeah, but Hacker is invading on the top side, but we don't get anything. They do have push up in top. Xiaolahu getting a little bit low, does hookshot wall shot away. Hacker, I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself. You know Beichuan's here, is looking to steal away some Krugs. Does have Cryin following up as well, so both soul laners easily able to make sure he takes this. And Hacker is fucking pissed off that he lost his red buff. And he isn't going to settle for that, but oh my god, Xiaoxi. Oh my god, Xiaoxi. Oh my god, Xiaoxi. Die!
Oh my
god, LWX goes down! Elk is popping off. Elk, you know, gets excited, goes in, flashes forward, gets a kill. We get action on the top side as well. Xiaolahu looks like he should be able to take down Aliez. Beichuan, though, getting a little bit low, but Hacker is actually the one who is absolutely screwed. Does have his flash available, but doesn't need it. Does ward hop away. And both sides of the map, there was blood for the blood god. I really don't know what I've said all in the past 30 seconds. Dagda, break it down.
It was nothing but sweet, sweet poetry the entire time you were speaking there. But what I do want to say is a nice job coming in from Xiaoxi in the bot lane, like, right? Ends up giving his life, but does get the hook, which sets up LWX. We're going to get the replay here. And LWX just taking a step too far outside of the minions, right? They try to get the punish here, and you can see just eking around. Lollipops it in behind. And it means that LWX ends up just falling there. Thanks to one more auto, not the ignite taken this time, so we get the double kill for Elk, which sets up Ultra Prime pretty nicely, right? We said that the bot lane for FPX really needs to be able to punish, and they have been doing a good job. You can see it reflecting the CS, but 2 kills to Elk is going to help even that up quite a bit in the gold department, which is going to be pretty nice for Ultra Prime.
Yeah, right. I mean, if Elk and Xiaoxi can stay close to even, that is a win in their books. Looks like FPX should be able to break open bot lane turret sometime soon. They're going to use their bot lane Prio to be able to take this dragon. On the opposite side, Ultra Prime have pretty much complete control over top side with the vision they do have down. Sadly, though, not in a position to cross map. So as Ultra Prime, are you just looking to stem the bleeding, have Hacker, you know, cover his lanes and let the scaling of the Jinx come through?
Yeah, but I think that's the best bet. My big question though is like, what happens when Rift Herald comes up, right? Because obviously you can try and move LWX and Hung up first, but I feel like in a straight up like 5v5, Ultra Prime should have the victory. And when you got push for Ali's in the top side and Kryne can wave clear relatively effectively, if you can try and 3-man this as Ultra Prime, I think you should be able to get Rift Herald. So I think from Ultra Prime's perspective, try and see if you can pick that one up. But FPX might be looking to make some moves to stop that as Gory starts to move up, but double thinks against it.
Yeah, so it seems like FPX had the same train of thought as you. They thought, hey, they've been pushing mid. We don't know where the Lee Sin is. Could be towards top side. Gory just up there to cover that one. Hacker actually making the opposite play. Wants to enable his bot lane. Looks like he is going to go for the dive, so Ultra Prime is going to go for the complete opposite play. I'm surprised, though. Baytron did show on a ward top side. Roborb coming out. Hacker trying to go in. Rice does find the root. Hung goes down immediately. 1 kill over to Ultra Prime so far. FPX making their way down. Going to try and see if they can find something on the back end, but I think Ultra Prime should be fine to get out scot-free.
Oh yeah, I think you just reset here as Ultra Prime. You got a good amount of gold again that's been set up for yourself. Shove in this last wave. See, maybe if you can start to rotate Chelsea up towards that Rift Herald, you can try and go for it just off of the reset. And always just move Elk back down towards the bot side to make sure that he's going to be okay. And you've got the TP advantages on Kryne to make sure that if they go for any sort of play in bot side for FPX, you got your bot lane covered. So, seems like a good spot.
That is the life of an LPL color. One team has the exact same train of thought as you. FPX are covering topside. They think that's the logical play. Yeah. And the other team's like, ha 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 ha! Let's go do this opposite play. That's totally unexpected. Woohoo! And
yeah, but if you... that's why we're world champions, you know? You got to catch people with their pants down sometimes. We don't play by the rules. We play dirty. We catch people out. And now, Ultra Prime, though, are going to be able to get that. I don't agree with sending Elk up there, though, because now you lose your bot lane turret.
Yeah, maybe my guess is their train of thought is that if they kept their bot lane in the bottom side, they would get dove by Beichuan. You have no camps up as Hacker. So it's like, okay, I cover bot side and get nothing and can't farm, or I go top and at least get Rift Herald. That's the only justification I can come up with in my mind for why they wouldn't keep their bot lane bot side. You know, whether it's right or wrong, chat, you can decide that. I don't care. But at least Ultra Prime will get some turret plates top. With Herald, potentially can break this one down. But Baytron and Chala, who are making their way up to cover, heck, even Hung and Gory are not far behind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you're going to get. Smite comes down. Actually, Baytron goes a little aggro. FPX, a lot of members here.
Yeah, a bit of posturing. Brian making his way around. Alias does not have TP, and Eldibix is already making his way top, so Ultra Prime are going to back off from the play. They are only about 800 gold down. So I'd say not too bad of a trade for Ultra Prime so far when we were hitting on the Caitlyn, the Lux, the Jarvan, the Champ Select, and how much these champions should be able to get done early. Now, with FPX, it's formulaic. Move your artillery piece in the Caitlyn Lux up towards topside. Try and break down more plates before those time out.
Yeah, I was curious to see if they're going to, like, keep the Caitlyn there for a little bit just with Dragon up. Like, try and see if you can secure one more for yourselves. But, yeah, I think moving up, just trying to see if you can get a bit more of these turret plates is going to be a lot better in the long run. But I think Gory is in trouble.
Gory's not in trouble. Gory knows exactly what he's doing. He's mind gaming them. He hits the shockwave. The kick has to come out from Hacker. And in the end, ooh, Beichuan is fine. Does get taken a bit low. Was disciplined, did have his flash up. He, did get rooted, so would have been able to flash anyway if Kryne landed the damage. But we don't care about semantics here on the Demacia Championship broadcast. We care about telling it like how it isn't and how we want it to be.
I'm kind of worried for Elk in this top side. If Hung lands one of these bindings, like, Elk just dies, especially with the Gale Force completed. Beichuan here, trying to see if he can give that support again to make sure that this Caitlyn can keep doing her business. But yeah, that Caitlyn hurts. Especially, I'm pretty sure they put Caitlyn's full combo back in the game, right?
Yes,
I want to say that
so as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, for Caitlyn, that's going to be so much damage coming out alongside the burst damage from the Lux. So if you get hit by one binding right now as Elk, you're just dead.
Yeah, so, you know, Caitlyn Lux got to be where Ultra Prime are afraid of. For Ultra Prime, they do have a Kennen with a massive CS lead who is farming near his turret as well. So Shallow who not... Oh, Realm Warp, though, coming out. Hung might be caught out. Does that flash up? Chelsea preemptively flashed through the wall. Oh, no! The final spark comes out. He does end up going down, though. LWX will be able to get away scot-free. That looked pretty janky. And LWX...
Oh, save him!
Oh, no, Chelsea! What are you doing? My dude wasn't able to block it in time. LWX...
Oh, my God, what is happening?
Oh, my God, Hacker. Oh, my God, Hacker. No. Lands a Sonic. Oh, wait. Dagda, what is happening? Kill does go down for Hacker in the end. And that was a massive mess. But Ultra Prime did get 2 kills. Gory got a ton of plates, though. Shallow, who's getting his wave. Baytron's counter jungling. I feel like FPX feeling pretty decent off that one, but Ultra Prime are finally ahead in gold.
Yeah, very messy. Don't know what Crime was thinking. He was literally backing on a pink. Like, you can see the ward that is about to get him shot, but it's just like, yeah, this is fine. Either way, though, as you say, FPX, a lot of control now on the map. You got bot side gone. Shadow Who pushing in as well, so he's going to get a nice reset. I don't feel like you're overly upset since LWX got a kill, so at least from FPX's side. And they also got the Dragon off the back of that as well, so I think FPX are all right.
Yeah, and we're going to go straight into the replay. The Realm Warp's going to come out from Ultra Prime.
This was hilarious.
And Dagda, this is where it gets weird.
Yeah, so Hug fails the flash. Chelsea actually gets it, so not only proving that he knew exactly what his opponent was going to do, but also just being better at doing it. And then this was just like, look, you're backing on the ward. Like,
well,
I don't know.
Unlucky. Chelsea couldn't do anything there.
Yeah, I don't blame Chelsea there. I'm just like, Crime really shouldn't be backing on a pink. But here, LWX, you get the heal on towards Hacker to keep himself alive. You get LWX trying to keep himself alive with his own heal, but unfortunately can't do it and get a second kill for himself. But either way, you're now looking at 2 kills on towards the Jinx. The Kraken Slayer completed there. Gale Force completed. Alongside this, rated Dirk actually for LWX. I've usually seen the Rapid Fire kind of picked up at this stage, or even go in towards like another BF sword item rather than going towards a serrated Dirk or lethality item at this stage.
Look, Dagda, your analysis about items, sick as fuck. But I'm going to go back to what you said and do the periodical lyric Dagda anger translation segment where you said Cryan shouldn't back on a ward and say what you meant was Cryan, what the fuck are you doing? You've won MSI, you absolute fool. How are you making these basic mistakes? Get fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, I just would have added against the Caitlyn in particular.
Against the Caitlyn, yeah. My bad. I'm okay with not getting my Christmas bonus for that one. As Tech Flash coming over the wall, Realm Warp coming out against Gory. Gory doesn't flash up, but it doesn't matter. Too many abilities that are able to lock him down. Hacker goes with the kick, follows in with the Q. FPX now channeling TPs. Ollie is following through with his own. Hacker does go down. Beichuan gets stunned. Alias fighting the kill, but more action down in mid. Elk, no, you're taken down by the Caitlyn. We've been kind of praising you this game, but also kind of not praising you. And more shenanigans. This is what LPL's about. I've only been doing play-by-play for like 45 minutes, and I'm already fucking losing my mind.
At least you accept that your mind's gonna be gone at the end of this one. But LWX does manage to take down another tower, get a good amount of gold for himself again. And the play topside kind of just ends up being tit for tat. So FPX swing back with the gold lead, and now you're kind of looking.
Dagda? Who's winning?
It's FPX. It's FPX because Ultra Prime, they invest all this into the top side and it ends up being a 1 for 2. But when you add in that mid lane trade, it's 2 for 2. And then you add in the tower that went to FPX and suddenly it's 2 for 2. But a tower going one side and FPX come out on top. And I think as well, you're about to get a cull finished up towards Shello, who as well, he's just finished that one there. You can see it just popped. So he's got a whole ton of gold coming into him. And you've got third dragon about to spawn.
Ultimatum, final spark goes down. Crying, taken out of the fight before it even starts. FPX finding a nice pick. Gory's bot side. Gory does have TP available though, so this should be a herald for FPX. Ultra Prime, respect that. They back off. They're going to go back to farming their camps, picking up CS on the map. And overall, Dagda once again You were right. I said I have no idea who's winning. You said FPX. FPX are clearly winning. You know everything. This is FPX.
Look, see, the thing is, I'm in analytical brain right now. You don't have to be an analytical brain.
Let's
It's okay.
go.
That's the thing. You're on the play-by-play brain today, and that's totally fine. You don't have to. But I will say for FPX, they're looking real swell. I mean, you've got this dragon in 30 seconds. You got Rifttail that's there, and honestly, it feels like Ultra Prime have just kind of forgotten that objectives exist. Like they're making these like cool plays, but they're doing it right before objectives are about to come up. So it means that you end up missing like a huge amount of the tools that you would have liked to use at these objectives. But anyway, Ultra Prime getting control over River. Now FPX going to be able to fight them back. You got Hung, who shouldn't be face checking this.
No. Hung, why would you walk into that? But Chelsea, not taking those, actually the one who goes down. Kills traded on both sides so far. Kalen Ultimate comes out. Lee Sin goes out. FPX still going forward. Alias finding a nice ultimate, is able to take Gory out of the fight, but he is going to give his life up for it as well. This is going to be an FPX Dragon. And Ultra Prime consistently looking for these picks like you're talking about. It looks good at the start, right? Hung walking forward. Chelsea finds the hook, but just too much damage on the side of FPX.
Yeah, and I mean, good position as well, right? When you look at where LWX was, it's really difficult to get access to him. He throws down a couple of traps. You can even see Ali is doing his darndest to get into the backline, but isn't quite able to. So, nice job from FPX there. And this is kind of the combo that we were talking about, right? Where, okay, yes, Hung gets caught, but LWX already has traps going down. You got Gory, who's been able to set up, and this like choke makes it really difficult for anyone in FPX to really be in trouble. Whereas you've got LWX, who's going to have that big ultimate that can follow up on the dive potential that we're talking about between Beishuan and Xiao Hu. And once again, LWX just like completely playing back and forth between this little choke. It makes it hard for Ultra Prime to do much.
Yeah, Ultra Prime, ultra disappointing me right now as LWX, you know. I'm gonna pour one out for the boy. You know, I've talked a lot of shit. I don't have any alcohol to pour out like you're supposed to pour out when you pour something out, but I'm gonna pour a little bit of water onto my carpet for no reason at all. As an apology to LWX. There we go. Water's on the carpet.
I'm surprised you didn't. We should have left you with some of the alcohol that we had from Vegas. I think we left like 2 liters of tequila there.
Yeah, I know. There was, oh my God, there was, I mean, heck, I remember like the last few days, I was like, guys, I'm done drinking, I can't. Oh God.
I think we all were at that stage. It was just like, no,
Vegas. Vegas with the LPL casters. What a time. You know, there will be a giveaway on this stream by Oshin. A trip to Vegas with the LPL casters, fully funded by Oshin.
That'd actually be sick. I'd be down. Yeah.
Oshin,
all right, make it happen. Make a prediction poll. Make it do the thing.
I don't know if he's here, if he's pretending not to be here, so he doesn't follow through with my fake promises. But Realmort coming out, Gory. Looks like he's caught out, is able to flash away. Hacker does find the kick. Gory taken out, does get a nice shockwave before he goes down, though. And, ooh, Ultra Prime can keep following. Camille's bot side. LWX still pushing mid. You don't really have any tools left. Xiaoxi, though, should have his hook available. Is able to land onto Hung. And Ultra Prime find the kills. Ultra Prime find everything. Ultra Prime find the base. And, you know, we're not that far into the game yet. Ultra Prime got some picks.
They got some picks. He got a TP from Crying to see if they could get more picks. But they're not quite able to. I am laughing, though, because every time I seem to see these, like, kills going on top side, Elk is, like, a half second too late on the ultimate to actually either pick up the kill or at least get an assist. It just feels like kind of the exclamation point at the end of the kill that Ultra Prime are picking up. But now Ultra Prime going to see what they can get back for the 2 towers that were taken. Still, I favor FPX in the trades, though, right? You're getting much more map control. You're still getting a good amount of gold. Gory's gone back topside, so he's going to be able to get that top lane turret. And your next dragon is going to be sold for FPX. Like, they still feel like they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, now Gory just going to back off. FPX needing to be conscious of the... Ooh. I'm surprised Gory has so much
I'm always
confidence
conscious of the
forward.
ooh. I'm always conscious of the ooh lyric.
You gotta be, man. You gotta be. When you hear the LPL, the oohs, the ahs, the wee oohs, the hee-hees. Yeah, the hees, the wee woos. You're always waiting. So, Beitron does get the blue buff. The cheeky boy Beitron coming in saying, this is mine. Stole the red buff at level 1, stealing the blue buff. Now is I'll give him a cheeky.
Stealing our hearts.
Oh, Beitron.
You little rascal.
Yeah, I'll get him. I'll make him something on Valentine's Day. You think he'll make me something back?
Don't they have a different day for Valentine's Day though? In China, they've got like Singles Day or something.
Let's see. China Valentine's Day. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, it's apparently called I'm gonna totally Tiao Festival or something like that. It's apparently on August 4th. On August 4th, you guys wait. I will have something for Beichuan, assuming he's still playing, and hopefully he gets something for me back.
And then we'll send it to Mole and let him know that you're cheating on him. You know? Easy.
No, you know how like, right? I mean, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, blah blah blah. They get to like pick their English names, right? So
yeah.
me and Munchels were talking the other day about picking our Chinese names.
I picked my Chinese name.
Oh, you did? Yours just means like money or something, doesn't it?
Tien Lu Bo. Yeah.
Wow.
It's because it's Rob Price, right? So it's like Lu Bo for Robert or Rob. And then Tien just means money, yeah, because price.
Yeah. I just want to make mine Mole. I can't remember what the Mandarin word for mole is, but my Chinese name is gonna be Mole. Maybe I'm getting a bit too obsessive, but I think now that he's not in the league, or at least announced in the league yet, it just hurts so much. I need to, but I'll stop talking about Mole because I feel like I do that a lot. As we get traps coming out in front of the Dragon, LWX with a really nice setup. Ultra Prime having a little corner to try and inch around this. They do got to be careful because it does telegraph easy ways for Hung to be able to find these binds. Realm Warp sending the Ken into the back line. Shalahu just taking the red buff for now. Does have an angle for a flank if he wants to look for it. Does look like he might just wait over Dragon Wall and wait for the opportunity to present itself. My God, this role has to talk so much when it looks like a fight's going to happen, but nothing is actually happening. Someone start the motherfucking dragon and get this going. Let's go! FPX are doing it. Dragon's going low. It's being hit. Hacker walking forward. Did kick Beichuan, but still Beichuan able to secure the dragon. Everyone flashing forward. Now Alia is finding some nice damage onto the back line. And Ultra Prime actually picking up the fight, but FPX, they got Infernal Soul Dagda. They got the big damage, the fire raining from the skies. But are Ultra Prime getting the Baron?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to go for the big purple worm instead. And you don't really have waves here for FPX to try and like trade this for anything on the map. So maybe they try and contest, but I think this is a terrible idea. Gory used the ultimate. You don't really have anything left in the tank.
No, Dad, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Go for it, FPX. Have faith, believe, the power of friendship, the power of a new roster. If you dream it, you can do it. But they didn't dream hard enough because Ultra Prime take the Baron. We need to remember that Ultra Prime doesn't have Hung. And what not having Hung means is that you aren't the best team in the world, but you can find small victories like killing a lot of people and getting Baron.
That is very, very true. I don't know. I think for FPX, a bit unfortunate that one. I thought they were going to be in a better position with kind of the traps creating this nice little spot for them, where they could try and keep Ultra Prime at bay, but Ultra Prime did a nice job at Ali's getting in onto the back line. And no matter how many Crowns of the Shatter Queen you have on FPX's side, that damage still hurts.
You know, I still want to know, like, when is it right to buy Shadow Flame? We see it on Gory right now. Gory does no damage. This replay happens. Who cares about this replay? But Gory does no damage, and I don't think that item is going to help him do more damage.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure it out as well, because, like, obviously you get the more magic pen, which is great, but it's not a huge amount. But it feels like counterintuitive, right? When you look at his build. He's gone for Owning Boots of Lucidity. Rather than going for, like, Sork Boots, if you're going to play off of having more magic pen. So, I don't know.
Even players I've talked to are very divided on the item. Some are like, this item is trash, why would I buy it? Some are like, hey, this is a win more item, I'll buy it then. And some are like, yo, I fucking love this item, let's buy it now. And none of them speak good enough English to give me good enough reasons why. But Hacker has good enough reasons why to go for this dive. Gory, though, is going to sidestep, is going to get out scot-free. And it's just more trades. All we're getting this game is trades on the opposite side of the map. For most of the game, it has favored FPX. FPX still do have Infernal Soul up, only having that Baron to work with for another minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, Ultra Prime going to see if they can try and shove this in. You've got decent wave clear, though, on FPX's side, even with the Baron up, just between, like, an actual AP Lux, Caitlyn, Gory as well. So they're kind of free to just keep rolling with this, and FPX aren't really making much headway. They need to send Cryon back so they don't lose their base, which means that then they're not in a favorable position. They're in a 4 versus 5, so they got to back away. So FPX just playing at the map better right now.
Yeah, and they can just stall this out, right? 45 more seconds to go. Your Camille split pushing. She has TP. Sure, Krine has TP as well to match, but Shalahoo definitely should be able to pressure the 1v1 at this point in time. I mean, even if we didn't factor in the Infernal Soul, he would have the pressure. But Ultra Prime trying to find. Okay, well, Hung just checking and making sure and doing a little bit of damage, I guess. Thanks, Hung.
Hey, I mean, look, he got the notification that there are folks running towards Shalahoo, but I mean, from a Baron perspective, right? Ultra Prime, they're getting nothing with this. So you've managed to push up in towards the tier 2s, get a little bit of chip damage, then you got to reset because you lost a tier 2 on the top side, and then you got to reset to come back out on the map. So, I mean, from FPX, they've kind of just dissuaded this whole Baron play. They have the Infernal Soul now, and maybe in 2 minutes' time, when we look towards our next dragon, the Elder, we'll actually see if FPX can put that to use. Now, I think the big question, though, is like, how do they actually set up for it? Because we saw them have what looked like a good setup last time, where they got to the dragon early, they had great trap positioning, but just couldn't find the team fight regardless.
Dagda, I'm going to channel the spirit of chat. Not our chat, not the LPL chat, not the chat watching right now. Other regions chats, where it's like, huh, Caster, why are you saying Ultra Prime are doing nothing with your Baron when they're pretty much almost even in gold and they have more kills, Caster? Huh, why? Huh, this game's still close. This game, FPX aren't doing that well. That was my impression of other regions chats. Our chat, though, would be like, whoa, clap, clap, clap. Baytron goes in, fights the Cataclysm, Hextech ultimated to follow, big damage, follows through, another rocket that does absolutely nothing. Elk, it is just not your day, buddy. Shalahoo, though, Baytron, though, Ultra Primer still going, but they're also a little bit surrounded. Hung making his way over, Caitlyn ult doesn't end up coming out. Final spark hits no one. This is just not a great game for skill shots landing. And my God, did that fight end in pretty much nothing able to be taken on the map?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure any ultimate that isn't a point and click ultimate missed that fight. Like literally everything. Gory, you had the stopwatch for Chelsea. You got the swing and a mix from Elk. Like Hung wasn't able to connect. There was nothing happening. And the beauty of it all is, we're going to get to see this once more in 40 seconds. This time, though, Bayshwan not having flash means that maybe Elk can stay a little bit safe in the backline, especially since he had to burn his flash in that engagement. Hacker has no flash either, which means that LWX is going to be a little bit safer. So maybe, just maybe, we see a bit of a different fight coming out.
Dag, I need to interject for 1 second. Hitting
Go for it.
Topic.
It's all
Intact, saying I'm bad at Bloons Tower Defense 6. How dare you, sir? How dare you, you smart, loyal, fan, friend, awesome person? I'm great at Bloons Tower Defense 6, but Elder's coming up. Dagda said a lot more useful things, so I hope you were listening because I will not repeat them because I was intensely focused on that comment. Ooh, okay, Engage coming out from BH1. Shalahoo following up as well. Okay, Shockwave, pretty nice coming out from Gory. FPX in a decent position. Crying, though, still full HP, but FPX, Alias, the big damage. Dagda, what am I saying? I have no idea what's going on the screen. Damage is going on. FPX, kills, fight, action, Dragon, Quad.
Kill. Oh.
As, once again, I'm sorry to my roommate for being a bit loud.
It's okay. He'll be fine. You know what? He appreciates it. The fact that you get to play-by-play today makes his day as well. LWX, we all saw that. We all saw that.
Did we? Did we see that? I don't know if I saw that.
He failed his net over the wall.
Oh no, dude. We can't keep roasting him.
Look, he's 10-3-2. He's doing a phenomenal job. Like, I'm not going to lie. It is just... The thing about LWX is he is actually a really good player. He just has these moments where his brain just forgets to, you know, keep the gears turning, and he just does really silly stuff. But I think that's what makes it part of his charm, you know? That you're like, look, you are amazing, but it just messes up sometimes.
To be fair to LWX as well, there is literally almost no AD carry in the league. There's like very few that you look at and you're like, okay, this guy does not do that, right? I think you obviously look at Viper. I think you can look at Huanfeng. And I think that's about it. Even other good AD carries in the league like Gala. Gala has Gala moments, right?
Yeah.
There are other... Jackie Love is obviously...
Is the king of them.
Yeah, Jackie Love owns that shit. Uzi, I mean, who knows when, if we'll see Uzi. Obviously was announced as a player, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more Doggo than Uzi starting out. But Uzi hopefully will bring, you know, a shred of consistency to the LPL. Heck, maybe even Doggo will as well.
Yeah, true. I think Doggo's had some good moments in this tournament anyway. But yeah, I'm curious to see if we actually get Uzi before Chinese New Year, right? Because that's kind of always been his thing, is like, hey, I'm not actually going to play before Chinese New Year. And then, oh my Jesus, that damage.
Survive. Hacker does get a bit of a shield off onto him. Throws it down once again just for safekeeping. FPX, though, going to keep pushing the base. And you got to assume... Oh, my... Yeah, this is the game, Dagda. I'm not... Take it away. Do the thing.
Oh, wait, you're the play-by-play. I thought you were supposed to end it. But anyway, we're going to pop in. Jesse's taking pop shots underneath the tower. Tower's going to fall. Ultra Prime still not able to mount much of defense as Chelsea goes back to the base to heal. The shots are coming in. Shaola who goes in onto Hacker. That's going to be the engaged Cataclysm onto the back line as we get the final spark across. Several people. Shockwave is going to find them all as FPX start to move in. They can smell blood in the water as they move through. Hacker, Alias cowering in the base as their Nexus will fall. FPX will find themselves to a swift game 2 looking at the whitewash.
I feel like Dagda just literally flexed on him. I think Dagda just like came in, did better play-by-play than I did the whole night, after also doing color the whole night, after also coming up with more clever, funny jokes. And you know what, dude? You know what I say to that, Dab? I appreciate it.
I see that I tried to make a reference to Captain Flowers, and now I'm just getting called out for, you know, calling Captain Flowers call, but yeah.
You know, it's okay, because you know, the greatest thing LS ever gave us was his whole, like, take it away, Atlas. And I totally stole that. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta steal some great things.
My favorite one from you was during our finals, where you just turned to Ushi and was like, you know what? I think this is time for a little bit of narrative. Take it away, Ushi. just like, yep. I don't know what else to say. Here, you just do the narrative part.
Inject narrative into our, you know, the way I see it, right, is I just set him up with a really nice, like, curveball so he can hit it out of the park. And you know what? He did. Speaking of hitting out of the park, when you guys were in the States, we tried really hard to go see any sport. NBA, NFL, whatever. We did not do it. Just like we did not do that, though, Ultra Prime did not win that game. FPX 2-0. I'm a bit surprised. They came in with this roster. Yeah. We didn't know what to expect. And, again, This is the LPL's Demacia Championship. You don't expect high level, you know, what you want League of Legends. You expect this kind of League of Legends. That's why we love it, and FPX are doing it better than Ultra Prime.
Yeah, it does kind of just feel like FPX have a better understanding of how to play the map. There's like so many times where Ultra Prime like are in an advantageous position, but then they just kind of like gung-ho into topside, and FPX are like, cool, well, we got a wave pushing mid, we got a wave pushing bot, we're just going to get 2 towers, and they trade 1 for 2 or something like that. Like, it just felt like FPX kind of understood how to play off of waves a lot better than Ultra Prime, but this was kind of consistently what we saw from Ultra Prime anyway this year, where it's just like, oh yeah, well, they will make these cool plays, but just kind of forget that, like, they're giving up resources elsewhere on the map to make these plays and then get caught out where they're actually trading unfavored.
I think that's an important thing to think about, right? With trading is looking at the rosters and realizing for Ultra Prime, Hacker and Chelsea are still here. Hacker and Chelsea, from what I understand, were the voices on the team, the callers. So it's not too surprising that they're still playing the same way that Ultra Prime did with their past roster. Where for FPX, I know RA has cited that Hung was a big voice. RA were, I'd say, a pretty decent team in terms of their macro game, right? They played a lot for dragon stacking. They played a lot for neutrals. They didn't play for the individual outplays. So maybe Hung bringing some of that. We're not sure how much Xiaolao Hu or Beichuan are, you know, bringing in their communication skills. But still, these players did learn under callers like Duinby, you know, getting to see what he did with the FPX roster. Heck, getting to play with him and, like, actually feel it in a live setting. So kind of cool to see how FPX are coming out ahead in terms of these objective trades and trades on the map.
Yeah, and I do agree. I think a large portion that will be coming from Hung, because you can see like a lot of what FPX are trying to do is coordinated around Hung, right? They're looking at like bot lane plays, even looking at the Caitlyn Lux this game, right? It makes sense, it's Caitlyn Lux, but last game, huge amount of pressure down towards that bottom side of the map, and you've got a lot of these trades coming through where Hung seems to be kind of the main person that's involved. So definitely, I think for FPX, even if they're team fighting, you can kind of go even for Ultra Prime in a lot of situations. The biggest issue is that, like, this game, FPX already had 3 dragons before Ultra Prime even took a sniff at a dragon, and they were even able to steal away the Infernal Soul from right underneath Ultra Prime.
You know, the only thing talking about this reminds me of is, I don't know if you'll remember this. I think it was a You and Munchables cast. What was it? I think it was a meeting. It was, so guys, we have these weekly meetings to like plan out what we're going to talk about for the series, right? This was back when Clement Chu was on the team, and I believe it was when V5 first came in with PP God on the roster, that they were playing against Hung. And I just remember you and Joe having, I guess, an amazing dick joke about Hung versus PP God, and
Yeah.
Clement laughing